righty then. All righty. What's going on out there, America? How is everybody? What is going on out there in the land of YouTube? What's going on? It seems like lots of interesting things going on. Lots of interesting things going on in the world right now. Everybody, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you just take 2 seconds and tap that like button, I would really appreciate that. That would mean a lot. That'd be great. That would be great. That would be great. There it is. Okay, cool. Now I can see it on the YouTubes. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Justin, thank you. I appreciate that. I am happy to be here. I feel fortunate that I am able to try to make the world a little bit of a better place. And so it just so happens that what is going on, James? How are you? Cold blooded. OTVO. Do me a favor, everybody type in the chat down below OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Just type that in the chat. OTVO. If you'd like to, you can type in these 4 letters, JBTP, for Jack Boot Thug Pig. Jack Boot Thug Pig. What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing tonight? Man, I'm telling you, I'm fired up. I've had one of those days, where like it's one thing after the next thing after the next thing. There's so much tyrannical behavior by these jackboot thug pigs. There's so much tyrannical behavior from these jackboot thug pigs that I have so many videos to choose from of what to cover. So I found someone sent me this. Someone sent me something in the mail. I'll take a few seconds, just say hello to everybody and ask everybody to hit the like button. Some people on Facebook are still jumping on. Some people on Twitter are still jumping on. But if you hit the like button, take your finger, hit the like button, just hit the like button. Just tap the like button. Jackboot Thug Pigs. I mean, absolutely. They just absolutely are. So, DLZ clips, I'll try to keep this as clean as I can. I'll try not to interrupt her too many times. But I got something I'm going to show you guys. Chevy! What's up, Chevy? Claudette, how are you? Good to see everybody. What is going on? Brandon Lee. I saw earlier Cope Dogged Dog was in the hizzy on the premiere. I had limited time when the premiere was on today. I was dealing with heavy drama. There's so much drama. There's so much drama. What is going on? Did everybody hit the like button? Did you type in my favorite phrase, either OTVO or JBTP, Jackboot Thug Pig? Did you put it in there? If you would, please just type that in there for me. Just type it in. Even if you're watching next week, next month, next year, just type it in there. Jackboot Thug Pig. Just put it in there. Put that bad chicken right in there. Okay, cool. So there's a plethora of videos. That dumb cop. I watched him say plethora so many times that I actually started saying plethora just as kind of like a joke. And now I say plethora because that idiot cop in Youngstown, Ohio, who murdered James Sheets, it was a part of the cover up that murdered James Sheets. He said plethora. And so now I've said plethora. It's plethora, but it's so annoying how your brain picks up silly things that you really shouldn't repeat. But that's not what I want to talk about right now. I found this girl on the internet. Go ahead and fill in what I'm going to say next. I found this woman on the internet. And then from there, where do you think it went? I saw that trip. Eat my shorts, copper, you jackboot thug pig, wannabe G.I. Joe loser. You know what I'm saying, Woke Pete? You know what I'm saying, Jose? You know what I'm saying, Katie? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Let me show you guys something. This is going to send you guys just absolutely reeling. You are not ready for this chick's breakdown of how crappy these piggers are. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for what I'm about to show you. Okay, there it is. I've got it set up. Who thinks they're ready? Because you're not. She breaks this down so good, She explains this so well. And you guys have noticed maybe lately, the last few lives, I've been talking directly to the piggers, and that's because they watch my channel. If you're young, I ran into this young guy the other night in Las Vegas Metro Police Department. And when I walked up, he said, "Hey, Chille, I love your channel." And I heard him say it. And then I won't tell you the rest because I audited them, and I'll show you guys what happened in that audit. But that particular young man, who's 20 years younger than I am, when I walked up to you, thanks for the super chat. I can't see any of the comments for some reason. It's not showing me any of the comments. I just saw the super chat little color come through. It gets them all mumbo jumboed up there. Anyway, so to that copper who I saw doing that the other day, dude, you could do something else with your life. You're not stuck. You're not stuck in that dog crap being a pig job. You're not stuck there. I tell you, it feels like you're stuck, doesn't it? It feels like the cops above you hate you, the cops below you hate you. You're always worried that someone's going to tell on you for breaking some sort of policy or procedure or some ridiculous new rule that they created to mess with your life. And I got a cop buddy named Green. So from Mr. Green to Cop Izzo, both of them told me that part of the biggest problem of policing in general, working as a cop, I can't call you guys police officers because the whole ranking system is the reason why it's ruined. It's a big part of why it's ruined, because your allegiance is to the person above you, your lieutenant, your captain, your major, your commander, whatever you want to call those people. But that's one of the biggest problems of policing for profit. Policing in general is that your allegiance is the person above you and you have to follow orders. You come in that day and that dirty pig tells you, go out and give tickets. And then you have to, because that's the lieutenant, which is the whole reason why I can't stand the ranking system, ranking people. With that being said, I want to show you guys something right now because this chick nailed it. She nailed it. So, for all the people who just, I would follow her into war. This woman could lead. I would be happy to lead her. I would be happy to follow her lead and follow her into war. She's a total badass. Total badass. This chick's a badass. She lays it out. Wait until you hear this breakdown. This breakdown she does is so good. You're not ready. You're not worthy of this woman's words. Soy Leo, what's going on, brother? Jeff hates pigs. Yeah, cop suckers, you'll get timed out. You're on the wrong page if you came here to cop suck. You're in the wrong place. Wrong place, wrong time, your wrong space. Bronco Nation family will tell you you're in the wrong page, Bubba Gump. Take your happy ass down the road. DFR stands for Daily Friendly Reminder. It also stands for Down and Road. DFR, Down and Road, baby. That's where you stand for. Douglas, what is going on? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming. Curtin, everybody do me a favor. We're going to get into this right now. DLZ clips, get ready, because this is a video right here we're going to do right here. I'm going to make this like a 10, 15-minute video, this little clip coming up right here, because this bad chicken, this bad chickie, this bad woman, lady, miss, Mrs., whatever you want to call her, she nails it. Angel, she nails it. She nails it. I would follow you into war, honey. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. So let's jump right into it.
If you work in law enforcement, I have a very important question for you, one which soon may be a matter of life or death. I'm sure some people become police officers just so they can boss other people around. But I'm going to assume here that you mean well, that you want to be one of the good guys. In which case, my question is this.
So she's talking to the cops like I'm talking to the cops, because you can't think a good person would sign up to be a pig, right? With the current policies and procedures, why would you sign up to those policies and those procedures? And that's what she's going to do. She's going to call out the character of the men and women who sign up to be a pig. That's what she's going to do. And I'm going to listen.
Is there anything the politicians could enact into law that you wouldn't enforce? Is there any order that you would refuse to carry out? Or will you do absolutely anything your bosses tell you to? In the US, police have already obeyed orders to fine or arrest people for a wide variety of harmless activities, such as dancing at the Jefferson Memorial or having a vegetable garden in their front yard. Police have even gone so far as to execute violent paramilitary raids on food co-ops and organic farms. For decades, police have been carrying out armed home invasions, forced property confiscations, and other acts of violence against people who weren't hurting anyone, but who engaged in behaviors or habits which lawmakers have arbitrarily declared to be illegal. You may be comfortable in assuming that you'll never receive an order to do something truly immoral. But the fact is, with every order you receive, you have a choice between obeying without question or relying on your conscience. No doubt there were cops a few years ago who never expected to be ordered to disarm innocent people, to do door-to-door home searches without warrant or probable cause, or to detain and interrogate people for merely driving down a road. Yet police have since been ordered to do all of these things.
You know, Josie,
and almost without
Josie, let me jump in with you real quick here, so I tried this in 2022, Josie. I tried what you're doing. I tried to find the good in these guys. And then I want to repeat what she says right here. She says, I'm going to go back, just listen to what she says here. Listen to the words.
Relying on your conscience. No doubt there were cops a few years ago who never expected to be ordered to disarm innocent people.
They were expected to disarm innocent people. I had the same thing, Josie. I had the same idea that surely you couldn't find a good person to sign up to do these things that are unconstitutional.
Do door-to-door home searches without warrant or probable cause, or to detain and interrogate people for merely driving down a road.
That's what they signed up to do. Like I used to have, thanks for the super chat, Peter. I used to have this idea. You can throw it up on the page, DLZ clips, but I used to have the same idea that these guys didn't sign up to do this. Like you didn't sign up to do that, did you? You didn't really sign up to be a jackboot thug pig, JBTP. You didn't sign up to do that, did you? And Josie's this sweet soul, and she is saying the same thing I was saying in 2022. Surely there's cops who signed up that didn't sign up to do Nazi checkpoints and go door to door or to pull people over for no reason. Surely, right? No, that's what they signed up for.
Yet police have since been ordered to do all of these things, and almost without exception, they obeyed. So it's not unreasonable to ask.
She's talking about the scamdemic.
Any point at which you will draw a line and say, no, that I will.
No, Josie, there's no point. They won't draw a line and say, I won't do it. They'll do whatever they're ordered to do.
And if you won't draw such a line anywhere, if you will do absolutely anything your political masters tell you to, how are you any different from the enforcers of Soviet Russia, Red China, or Nazi Germany?
They're not. They're the same. That's why when I go to those Nazi checkpoints that you see set up, I'll let them know each one of these persons is a Nazi. Each one of them will go down where some of their family members, and listen up, coppers, some of your grandchildren and great-grandchildren will deny that you were related to them because you go down in history as a Nazi. Fact.
You may be tempted to say, I don't make the law, I just enforce it. Or to argue that if some legislature, court, or some authority above you says it's okay, then it must be. But keep in mind that this is exactly what the thugs of every tyrannical regime in history said to justify their actions.
They sign up to be a thug. That's the whole disconnect here. And God bless her. I'm not bashing her. You saw me. I went as far as trying to like build a bridge with cops. Like, hey, let me help you. Let me crowdfund a new tattoo. So you're not wearing that blue striped terror flag. I was there in 2022. Avery, what's going on, Playboy? I was there in 2022, believing that we could make a difference if we reach the sensible cops. DLZ clips, is that audio done from Hannah? Okay, so DLZ clips has the audio done. You're gonna hear. I'm gonna play a little. Let's keep going on Josie. Let's let her finish before we start the next segment. But I'm going to show you that what she's saying, they know what they're doing, Josie. They know what they signed up to be.
And how do we remember those people now? As courageous, noble law enforcers? No. Unless you want posterity remembering you as a heartless, mindless pawn of oppression, then you'd better decide, and decide now, where you will draw that line. Unfortunately, there's little indication that most cops have any line at all. The incidents of police officers refusing to inflict injustice upon the people are extremely rare. Even when cops say they personally oppose certain laws, such as marijuana prohibition, nearly all of them continue to violently enforce these laws against nonviolent people.
Right. You know, we talked about this last week. Everybody remembers that female cop pulling her lieutenant or commander or whatever BS G.I. Joe loser military acronym they've attached to the front of their name. But the truth is the reason that video went viral of her pulling him off, of attacking a handcuffed, torture cuffed suspect, is because it never happens. Josie's saying, where's the good people? The guy not punching the guy in the face is holding his ankles. The guy not elbowing the guy in the chin is holding his hips. And then when they get in trouble, only the guy punching him in the face gets in trouble. And the cops who held him down, they did no wrongdoing.
In other words, they recognize these laws as counterproductive and unjust, but they choose to enforce them anyway.
Right.
For the most part, American cops seem completely incapable of disobeying immoral orders, and instead do what the enforcers of every other authoritarian empire have done, inflicting harm on innocent people whenever and however those in power tell them to, while accepting no personal responsibility for their actions. I hope you are better than that.
They're not.
Keep in mind, there are a lot of decent Americans who do have the integrity and courage to draw a line in the sand, a point at which they will disobey and resist violations of their rights by those in power. It may be that they
but none of those are cops. No, unless it's a gun thing where their gun rights could be impinged or infringed, then they don't care. If it's a jaywalking law where you can be arrested for that, they don't tell the other cop, don't arrest him for jaywalking. They don't do that. If it's a couple who has a heavy fight and they push each other, and then one calls the cops and says, my husband pushed me or my wife pushed me, they don't go, hey, you guys, do you want to spend an hour apart and see if you guys can work this out? I don't see any bruises or black eyes or anything on either one of you. So do you guys want us to sit here with you for, an hour instead of me having to take her to jail or having to take him to jail? I don't see any damage. So maybe you guys can sit here with me here and we can talk this out. They don't do that. They're not doing that.
To be disarmed. It may be that they refuse to cooperate with warrantless searches or refuse to keep funding a government. And there are a lot of decent Americans who do have the integrity and courage to draw a line in the sand, a point at which they will disobey and resist violations of their rights by those in power. It may be that they refuse to be disarmed. It may be that they refuse to cooperate with warrantless searches or refuse to keep funding a government they view as destructive and unjust.
They're all impossible. If you stop paying taxes, they target you individually and arrest you. They don't do any of these things. I mean, she's spot on. Josie, you're spot on. If you get to see this sometime, which you may see it, you are spot on. I'm not bashing you at all. You're right. I don't want you to think I'm in any way, shape, or form showed this video to slight you. I did not. I showed this video to show that a woman who obviously doesn't make videos for a living, it's not what she does. She grabbed a camera, went out to some locations, and started filming herself doing the lines that she had written. And she's saying, how come there's no good cops? Why can't a good person look at this and say, you shouldn't arrest this person for hit and run? Bumpers damaged like this. We have his ID. We know where he lives. If he gets away with it, he damaged a bumper this much. Ooh.
Whether you agree with them doesn't particularly matter. What does matter is whether in the end you are willing, if and when you are ordered to do so, to violently assault the dissenters for their disobedience.
Right.
When they draw their line in the sand and stand their ground, and your supervisors tell you to use whatever level of violence necessary to get submission and compliance from the resistors, will you obey?
Yeah.
If it came down to it.
Yeah.
Would you kill American citizens for disobeying politicians?
Yeah. Oh, so Josie, you got it backwards. You want to slowly pull in here, but at least right here, you got the lighting on your face correct. See the difference between that lighting and see that lighting? Way better. But you want to slowly pull in on this, just Hollywood stuff. I can just share some Hollywood stuff with you.
American citizens for disobeying politicians.
You put a 1 in the chat if you think the cops on the next round of bird flu, do you think that they'll arrest you on the next round of bird flu? You think that they're going to force you to put something over your face on the next round of bird flu? Do you think they're going to make you do it? If you don't do it, then or jail, or you can't buy food, or you can't travel, or you can't go to a restaurant. That's why I left California originally. In 2021, when they started banning me from restaurants and bars, I'd go into a clothing store. They'd kick me out because I wasn't wearing, so, so you put a 1 in the chat if you think the cops on the next round of bird flu would gladly shoot you. Gladly. Hey, he resisted.
Now, if someone is actually harming someone else, of course, you have the right to use whatever force necessary to stop the attacker and protect the innocent.
Well, see, that's where we kind of lose ourselves a little bit here. And there's studies done on this, that it shows that the brain has a little orgasm when we see somebody get hurt who's done an injustice to another. Your brain has a little boop, boop. You have a little wee. I love this. That's why there's so many bootlickers and so many people on those crappy channels, because your brain literally enjoys watching someone be punished if they justly have done something wrong. So we have to fight that. Not any amount of force if someone's done something wrong. The appropriate, reasonable amount of force. The Fourth Amendment standard, the reasonableness standard.
But that would be the case even if you had no badge and no uniform. But when you try to arrest someone who hasn't threatened or harmed anyone else, but has only disobeyed some arbitrary regulation, then you are the one initiating force.
Right.
You are the one starting a fight.
Right.
You are the bad guy.
Yeah.
Now remember, the American Revolution was people forcibly resisting gun confiscation, warrantless searches, what they viewed as unfair taxation, and a number of other oppressions, all in the name of law, all carried out by law enforcers.
No. So the term law enforcer came around in the 60s and 70s when they declared war on drugs. The law, you'll hear law enforcement here and there through history, but really it began with the 1971 war on drugs. That's where it started. I mean, it was going on. You heard law enforcement, people enforcing laws, law enforcers. You can find it. You can find it in text. But if you really want to find it in text, it's after the 1971 declaration by Richard Nixon to declare war on drugs. So, and if you don't know this, there are canons of government. There are canons of government. And each canon has different things in it, different parts of the government. And he aimed every canon of government at declaring war on drugs. Administrative, legislative, Justice Department, everything was about the war on drugs. Every single canon of government was then faced to aim at the war on drugs, as though it was an evil mass killer coming to get us. And now we see that the war on drugs is a way to imprison us all arbitrarily. I smell marijuana. Now I'm going to search your car, search your house, kick your head in for smelling. And all he has to do is say he smelled it because we've created a war on it.
If you had lived back then, would you have been among the rebel colonists, the ones who refused to be disarmed?
Would you? Pop it in the chat. How many people here think you'd be? I don't want to say anything. If something happened in the United States, if something happened, which I would not lead, but if something happened in the United States and there was a rebellion, would you be one of the people to join it? I'm talking about a legitimate rebellion, but that would require that, from my perspective, that government officials, state government officials, openly reject the tyranny of federal law. I believe that is a true rebellion when you have governors, senators, mayors, when you have people who are supposed to be leaders, when they openly revolt, like the sheriff's departments around the country who are revolting against the ATFs, creating laws by using the administrative code that they were given. They were given powers.
Refused to pay taxes and resisted warrantless detainment and searches? Would you have sided with the signers of the Declaration of Independence, or would you have been among the redcoats, the law enforcers, assaulting, caging, or killing any colonists with the gall to disobey the king?
Well, I mean, and this is a good time to just remind you guys that Thomas Jefferson, in the Committee of Five, when they were shoring up the Constitution, he had a lot of this guy named John Locke in his head, that a lot of the things she's talking about. So 1775, 1776 is the great fight for independence. We're really fighting hard. And so we have the First Continental Congress, and it goes pretty good. I think we end up where it's not totally done yet. And so, but it's been going on for so long. It's in the summer, and they're like, we got to break this, and everybody break apart. And they break apart, and they leave 5 people behind. They leave 5 people: Robert T, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson. So I'm going deep in history here, but the point is that Thomas Jefferson then would write the Constitution, the majority of the Constitution, and he's going to be accused of plagiarizing 2 treaties of government written by John Locke in 1690.
And which side are you on today? Of course, the message you'll get from your superiors, the politicians, and your fellow officers is that it's not your place to decide which laws to enforce, and that as long as you faithfully follow orders, that you can't be held personally responsible for doing as you're told. But that is a lie, a horribly dangerous lie. At the Nuremberg trials, it was established that the excuse used by the Nazi law enforcers that they weren't to blame and shouldn't be punished because they were just doing as they were told did not relieve them of personal responsibility for their actions. And make no mistake, if you choose to blindly obey unjust commands, and one day your intended victims decide to fight back, saying that you're just doing your job will not make you bulletproof. It may be your own life you save by deciding now at what point you will choose to be a moral, responsible human being instead of just an obedient pawn of those in power. Ultimately, only you can answer the question of where you will draw that line. But really, the only moral, rational answer is this. If something would be wrong for you to do without a badge, then you shouldn't do it with one either. The idea that uniforms and legislation can give you special rights is both false.
So let's put that in context. Let me go back just a minute and listen to what she says here.
The only moral, rational answer is this. If something would be wrong for you to do without a badge, then you shouldn't do it with one either.
Okay, so I believe that a lot of the guys who come into my room, a lot of us recognize that we have an alpha personality or a sigma personality. And so we when the way I was raised, and my uncle really let me know when I was a kid, 2 guys are fighting, you don't engage. And there was no ambiguity about how my uncle let me know that this just not, you're wrong. You cannot have, 2 guys are fighting, you don't go in and start swinging. So to the badged, to the guys who have a decent soul in their police, you go flying into a fight and someone's really resisting, they're drunk and out of control, maybe did some meth, let's just have it your way. And two coppers got him, and one has an arm, one has the other arm around his waist. You go flying in there, you start punching that guy, tasing him. The rules of the street, the rules of men, the rules of violence still are intact. You using that badge to go in and take a cheap shot at another man, that's what I'm talking about. You coward.
The idea that uniforms and legislation can give you special rights is both false and horribly dangerous. Nearly every large-scale injustice in history was committed by people who wrongly imagined that their position of authority made it okay for them to do things that other people have no right to do. Like everyone else, you have the right to use force to stop attackers and protect the innocent. And when you do that, you are the hero. But you have no right to be the attacker, even if it's your job and even if the aggression is called law. Always, in every situation, you and you alone are responsible for what you do. Wearing a badge and a uniform and doing whatever you're told does not make you brave and noble or deserving of any respect. Just following orders is a coward's excuse. If your job requires you to assault or cage people who haven't threatened or harmed anyone, then quit. Being an actual protector, doing the right thing no matter what anyone else says, even if it means disobeying orders and breaking the law, that takes courage and integrity. That makes you a hero. So, do you have enough of a spine to draw that line? Decide now before your failure to think for yourself results in damage that cannot be undone.
So this is her. I always want to pause this here. So she's josietheoutlaw.com. Someone sent that to me from Facebook. So I'm not really sure where she is, but I would gladly have her on if she wants to come on and expand her message. If anybody wants to reach out to her, find her and let her know that we covered her, I would extend an olive branch for her to come and have a conversation. It was Roger Sherman. That's the name I could not get in my head. Roger Sherman, because Robert Livingston, and Robert Livingston, and then you just get messed up because there's Robert and there's Roger. So I want to show you guys. So now you saw that video. So now I got a question for you. Let's watch this video real quick and tell me where you stand if it comes around. And I can't really say anything else. You probably know why. I can't say anything else. But I just want to know where you stand on this one. And if it comes around the way people are saying some people are saying it's going to come around, then you guys tell me where you stand. I just want to know because I can't say anything else. I just have to bite my tongue. Let me see what you guys can see. Okay, that's perfect. So check this out. Let me know where you guys stand. I'm just gonna let this play.
UN Global WEF New World Order regime's second rollout of lockdowns and attempts at forced injections and travel restrictions are being told they're not essential. We don't have to lay down and die. By the middle of September, that the new policy's being written, this is done. They were told this is happening. This is not hypothetical. You will all have to wear masks again, and so will airport employees. Then, by the middle of October, they are going to say that everyone flying has to wear masks. Well, I mean, why is this happening? They said, well, because of the new variant in Canada and because of the WHO, they may, declare this. But regardless, we've been told this is going to happen. And then they were told we expect by December a return to the full COVID protocol of 2020-2021. Exclusive. Biden administration preparing to bring back full COVID restrictions. Rollout to begin mid-September. They may change the plan. They may speed it up. They may back it up. They might cancel it. That's what I want. But this on my children is from federal whistleblowers, just like I was told by my sources in Ukraine.
Wow. So there's a question for you. How do you respond to that? What's going to be? Is that Joel? I thought Joel was coming back in, but what's going on, Alan Hubbs? So you got to decide where you're at with that. For me personally, I think I made a pretty clear stand when I left California in 2021 and said, I'm out. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So, but the $1 million question, and it just, look, it's a conspiracy theory. Just throw it away. Okay, fine. Throw it away. It's a conspiracy theory. And let's just ask the question and answer it. Where do you stand? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? If someone says, hey, we have to do this, it's just, I think I love the idea of people say conspiracy theories. I like a conspiracy theory is just something that makes me think. So I think about it, and I don't really subscribe to conspiracy theories. It's not how I roll, but that doesn't mean that I don't, I don't hear it, because I do, I hear it. And when I hear something that people would call a conspiracy theory, then I just what I do at that point is I want to ask other people what their thoughts and feelings are. That way I'm allowing people to make their own decisions. I'm not making any definitive statements. I already made my statement in 2021 when I left Los Angeles, when I couldn't go out to eat anywhere without my passport. And I said, I'm not getting one of those passports because I'm not getting that. So I already made my decision. So I'm going to show you guys, let's refresh here. Let me just come back to center with you all real quick. Let's refresh. Everybody, do me a favor. Shake it out. Whoo, whoo, shake it out. Wipe it off. Pretty intense. Pretty hardcore stuff. So wipe it off. Get ready. We're gonna jump into another thing here. So do me a favor, everybody, hit the like button. You just got here. You've been here for a second. Hit the like button. Just take 2 seconds. Just reach down and just tap that like button just real fast. And then type down in the comment section, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. Just type that in real fast, if you would, pretty please, with sugar and cherries on top. And now I'm going to show you guys just a tiny little clip of this video, because I want you guys to, this is a tiny catcher-upper. Most people here have already seen this video. Most people here. We talked about this the other day. You remember I interviewed this cop named Adam Hanna. Do you remember Adam Hanna? So I'm just going to show anybody who was here. Put a 1 in the chat if you were here the other night when I showed you guys that I ran into a cop in Denver, Colorado. And of course, I went up and I spoke with him. How many people were in the room? Put a 1 in the chat if you were in the room, because there's like 450 people here or something like that. So, okay. So I'm just going to show you guys just a real tiny bit of this video. Real tiny bit. I'm talking like a minute, 2 minutes. And then I'm going to show you the follow-up of the DA's office calling me and trying to see if I'm a suspect in the fraud he's committing, right? Because when you listen to the tape of the DA's office calling me, who were trying to get his peace officer standards and training certificate stripped from him because he was under investigation. This guy completely snowed me. He put on a good face, a good front, and he was totally a scumbag. He lost his peace officer's license, and he's no longer a cop in Colorado. So if he went and got a new peace officer's license in another state, I don't know about that. But this guy totally snowed me. You can fool me anytime. I want to believe in you. I want to believe people are good. And so I'm going to show you guys just a couple minutes of this at the most, because a lot of people here already saw this, but I'm only going to show you a couple minutes of it. And then I'm going to show you the district attorney's detective who called me and asked me what my relationship with Adam Hanna was.
And he's in an all black car with black tinted windows, sitting in a parking lot. And when people drive by and they see a cop here, they're afraid of him. And he just doesn't see it.
Let me see your tap, man.
Bam. Oh, you got a stripe on it, though. Thin blue line. You have the thin blue line stripe. Can I see that one more time? He's got a thin, can you guys, I want to make sure these guys can see it. That's a thin blue line stripe.
Oh, so
He puts on a blue stripe on his arm. Do you know how much we hate it?
How much you hate the thin blue line?
Hate it. It immediately incenses me. The disconnect is he doesn't see. He's wearing all black. He's dressed like G.I. Joe, dark blue. Guys, the stripe divides us. The people, for me even continuing the conversation and being cordial with you and giving you a fist bump, the people who watch my channel are going to go, what WTF, Chille? You gave a fist bump to a guy with a blue stripe.
So just so you know, this guy totally fools me. I'll show you guys just a blip of this more. He totally, completely, and utterly fools me. And I walk up and start a conversation with this guy.
Badge number
2204.
Hey dude, how you doing? So, my name's Chille. I have a channel called Delete Laws. I'm not running live right now or anything, but when I see police officers and they're pulled to the side of the road, I often just want to ask them, let me come on. So there's the rest of the car.
Well, I often will touch the public property because that's our property. And so I treat it like it's my property.
It's like Morrison, town of Morrison. Hey. Nice to meet you, Chille. So now, when you're a cop, right? You're a police officer. So what do you think is the perception of you when you sit here in a car? Do you think when people drive by, what are their feelings? You think that they feel safer when they see you here? Because your car's all black tinted windows. By the way, that's a cool, that's cool. But what do you think the perception of the general public is?
I hope the perception of the general public is that we're here to help them.
Okay, so let's pause right there. So now I continue down a rabbit hole with Adam Hanna. He puts on a really good face. I mean, if he's interviewing for a job, he nails it. He absolutely nails it. And so no spoiler alert here, this is all out in the open. Adam Hanna used to be an assistant chief, and then he got demoted, and now he's on a deal right now where he's down as the lowest rung. He's an officer for the Morrison Police Department because he's about to lose his peace officer's badge. Now, his peace officer's license that allows him to have a badge. And so it just so happened randomly that I ran to this piggy. And after I left him, he shined me on and he put on a great face. If you guys haven't seen this video, let me drop the link down here so you can see the whole thing. This guy, read the comments. He comes off like, there it is. And put that on the real comments on the YouTube channel, if you would, DLZ clips. And he comes off like a real champ. People even say, see, Chille, there's good cops out there. See, there's good cops out there. So here's the follow-up phone call with the district attorney's office, who believes now that I have somehow plotted and planned with Adam Hanna to make him look good on camera. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's the most preposterous thing you've ever heard in your life. Are you out of your freaking mind? You think, and I knew right away when he called that he thought that, I had somehow, and I was like, okay, but that's fine. Now here's the conversation I had with with the district attorney's detective.
Well, I mean, like pretty much anytime a cop starts telling me that they're good, then I just automatically go, I don't know how much I believe that. I just don't know. I just don't really believe it a lot, to be honest, because most of the time you find out that they're not good. So, I mean, in 2022, I was extending a ray of hope. 2023, I've extinguished that hope. I mean, it's a terrible, horrible, disgusting system. And it's once, read the Mullen Commission. Once you're wrapped up in it, you get stuck in this Death Star of evil. And if you don't toe the line, they kill you, they kill your family, they ruin your career, and there's too many of them. So it's unbelievable to me that a cop's even calling me to investigate another cop. That's unbelievable to me. Never have I in my life think that a cop would call me to investigate another cop.
Well, do you have any questions about that? I mean, hopefully I've been fairly clear on why I'm doing that.
No, I mean, I think you've been, if he's a bad copper, I hope he actually gets in trouble, but they hardly ever do. I mean, and by the way,
well, he was already in trouble. And then, like I said, his certification for the state of Colorado was being revoked. There's a process to that. And then in between the hearings for that process, your video was shot and published. Well, I don't know when it was shot, but it was published in between that process.
Pretty quickly.
And
I put it out 2 or 3 days later.
Okay.
I mean, I shot it with him and then I edited the next day. It was out within 48 hours, I think.
Okay. And then, like I said, his attorney was using that and telling the post board, hey, watch this video. The comments are very positive. And this was an overall good interaction with somebody who's typically pretty hostile to law enforcement, and yet this went really well. You should consider not revoking his certification. And I'm summarizing. That it looks a little suspicious on this end of things.
So this is a cop who has now just called me and told me that it looks suspicious on his end of things, something that I was involved in. So because it's so ridiculously preposterous beyond the pale, and there would have to be some sort of collusion that these cops could prove between me and the jackboot thug pig who eventually got fired from being a pig. So I find this humorous, actually. And so now I want to really shine him.
That you just happen to find Adam Hanna when it looks like you kind of travel all across the country.
Oh yeah, I travel all across the country. I go from coast to coast. I'm on a mission to show that the law enforcement system will never work. We have to go to a peace officers association, and we have to decentralize and get rid of all these stupid rankings, and then it would actually work. But as long as you have one person who's in charge of another one in peace officers, then you're going to have corruption. So that's
so
incredible.
I just want to be clear. There was nothing in particular that brought you to Colorado, or specifically to talk with Mr. Hanna?
No, it was actually completely random. Dude got so lucky that I happened to walk up, and now the board is saying, hey, watch this video. Here's an example of a good cop, and what they're saying about him isn't true. Look at the good interaction he had with somebody who hates cops. That's what the
the board didn't say that. The board is the one who's making the decision to revoke his certification. His attorney, his defense attorney, brought it to the attention of the board and said, you should watch this video.
Watch my video with a copper because people like the copper.
On how good this interaction went, and how he handled himself with this guy who's fairly aggressive with law enforcement. So you can understand how that appears suspicious, the timing of that, because it was in between these different hearings.
Well, I mean, the only time I would help a pig is if they were being attacked and their life was in jeopardy. If I'm for law and order all the way, I'm not a sovereign citizen at all. I'm for Jean-Jacques Rousseau's social contract. So now let me explain that real quick. A sovereign citizen is someone who believes that they're free and that they make all their own decisions at their own will. I don't agree with that. I think that people have to live. The rule of law should uphold society, because if it's 15 miles an hour through this neighborhood and there's a bunch of little kids playing outside, a sovereign citizen could say, I don't live by those rules of the speed limit. So that's what I mean by that. Of course, you are sovereign. You should be in charge of your own being and your well-being and those things. But the rule of law makes it so that it's 15 through that neighborhood because there's 4-year-old kids that often run out in the street. Sovereign citizen means that I don't live by any rules but my own. I have my own will. And other people are going to have all these things to say about what I just said. But that's the reason why I'm for rule of law. If you haven't read Thomas Hobbes and you don't understand his philosophy on the natural man, then you should read that. I've read it several times. So I'm for law and order all the way. I'm not a sovereign citizen at all. I'm for Jean-Jacques Rousseau's social contract. I've read it several times. So I'm for that. So the only way I would help a pig is if they were being attacked, and I'm not for violence. So I would stop that attack. But other than that, I would not help a pig. So if this video that I made with Adam Hanna helped him, it was not to help him. I did not know the man. We had never met previously. I walked away from the encounter, and a lot of my audience we were optimistic that there's actually a good pig in the world. He was acting like on a first date. But there's, now, I mean, this phone call, just so you know, just further indentures me into the camp that there are no good cops. That just puts me right back into that.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I can't change the facts of this situation. They are what they are, but yeah, it is. I guess there's some double irony there, and that's unfortunate.
Well, there's triple irony, quadruple irony, because I don't just walk up to. I mean, I randomly walked up to a dude on the side of the road. I happened to be in that part of town in Denver, where I'm not from, where I was at a fight camp. Now, let me give you guys a little backlog, just so you know where I was. I have no idea where I was. I have no clue where I was. I was in Denver, and I was just in some random place. And I often, when I go to a new town, I will go drive around at midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning to see if a cop will pull me over just because I'm out driving. So I was just out driving in Denver, and I saw a cop sitting in a gas station parking lot in the corner of the parking lot. The pumps are here, the store is here. And so I thought, he's sitting there and he doesn't realize that now nobody wants to go to that particular gas station.
to train to fight a different pig. But that pig, my blood pressure went crazy because they stole my van. I got a whole troop of pigs on a channel to stalk me, and it's half of them are cops or ex-cops. So it's.
But you had never had any prior interaction with Hannah, and you walked into a random cop car and he was in it.
Yes, believe it or not, yes.
Wow.
Dude, listen. I'm on the record here, man. I hate cops. Okay, I wouldn't do anything to help out Adam Hannah. I don't know the dude. I met him for literally 20 minutes of my lifetime. Never had spoken to him previously. Never had any interaction with him previously. He put on a good show, dude. A lot of people believed him on my channel and said, "Oh, see, there are good cops." And the whole time the dude's under indictment.
So he.
Well, he wasn't under indictment. He had a felony case while he was a cop, and he took a diversion for that.
There's diversion for cop felony cases where they then go back out onto the street and they're a cop.
And the post board, that's who certifies peace officers in our state. And the post board.
The post board. So Adam Hannah may have had his certificate pulled in Colorado, but that doesn't mean he can't get a certificate in another state. Post, Peace Officer Standards and Training. And in some places it's called CLEAT, and in some places probably called something different. But from what I know, they all have this basic thing, Peace Officer Standards and Training. And they all graduate and sign a Peace Officer certificate and then magically become a law enforcer as soon as they graduate and they get a badge and a gun. Then they're an enforcer. But before that, they train to be a peace officer.
That's who certifies peace officers in our state. There's statutory requirements that they have to revoke his certification based on that other case. And so he was in the middle of that process, yeah.
So he's not a cop anymore?
No. Well, in Colorado, his certification is revoked in Colorado. What he's doing, I'm not positive.
Well, you're a copper. Why don't you guys get rid of this whole law enforcement garbage? I mean, that's what puts a divide between us, and it changes the mentality. Instead of going to protect and serve, you're going to law enforce. And I get it. You're an internal affairs cop, but dude, the whole law enforcement stick.
I'm not internal affairs. I just want to make sure you understand why I'm calling. I'm an investigator. I'm a detective. I work for a district attorney's office, but we are investigating this matter because it appears he was attempting to influence our post board, which is a felony.
So then if they believe that he made a video that he was attempting to sway the post board, then someone has to make the video with him. And so everything I thought from the beginning is now starting to show that, but this gives me a solid 10, 15 minutes to just let him know the truth.
So
they're investigating me is what I'm telling you. And I know that, but I know there's also no records. It's just simply not possible. I'm not even in Denver. I don't live there. I'm never there. I don't know what this tard is.
Like I just investigate officers, or
it's not like it's not like I just investigate officers. I'm investigating you now. This phone call is an investigation of you. Every time you talk to anybody who works for the government, they're investigating you.
It appears he was attempting to influence our post board, which is a felony. So it's not like I just investigate officers or.
Oh, you work for the DA's office.
I work for a district attorney's office, yeah. And because the post board would be a victim, they recuse themselves. They're not doing their own investigation, and they reached out to our agency to do the investigation.
Can I ask you a question kind of off topic?
Well, I got to stay on topic. You're an interesting guy. Maybe when I'm on my own.
This dude, though, thought that I would be in collusion with a pig to help him look good, to keep his pig badge. Put a 1 in the chat if that is the most preposterous thing you could possibly imagine. I could vomit right now. Apparently, he did lose his pig badge anyway, but
Aurora, Colorado, Jeff Chostner watched the murder of Richard Ward on video and then said it was a justified murder. But the video no matter what your policies are, videos show a guy open another guy's car door, attack him, and then murder him. That's what we saw on video. I don't care if the guy was wearing a badge or not. How do we get that grand jury to? How do we get a grand jury to convene for Charles Warder, who murdered Jeff Ward, murdered him in that junior high school? You know what I'm talking about. How do we?
Well, again, if I.
You guys remember that when the guy was going to pick up his little brother, and then he went to get into the wrong white SUV, and he went to open the door, and the lady it was the wrong one, and so she called the cops, and he went and got in the RV, the little white mini SUV with his mother, and then the cop came over, drug him out of the car, and shot him. Remember that? I'm asking this guy who's a detective for a district attorney how and what the process is to get a grand jury convened when we see a murder on camera, but now Jeff Costner, I think it's Chostner, Jeff Costner in Denver can just decide that we didn't see a murder.
I was on my own time. I could probably have an interesting conversation with you, but
Brother,
I'm
the dark
on
ship.
work time. So I had a quick follow-up conversation or a question for you real quick. You said you had a positive reaction among your viewers to Hannah. Did you receive, feedback from your viewers about him?
Yeah, of course. You can go in the comment section and read what the people said about him. He was okay. I mean, look, it's just like anything else. You go talk to a used car salesman and they tell you how great the car is and they're the nicest guy in the world. You drive the car home and it's a piece of junk. So that's how I see most of my interactions. These are the best cops in the world while I'm here with the camera. And as soon as the camera goes away, they're the regular people they are. So yeah, but my viewers said,
put a 1 in the chat if that's 100% true, that they are completely and utterly fake until they're off camera.
Positive things about it.
I'm hot.
Because he put on a good show and said how he was a good dude and he didn't believe in all, he seemed malleable, that he would be willing to learn, but he was the guy who had the blue stripe tattoo down his arm. I remember that.
That's right.
Yeah. And
that's right.
He was going to change it to Old Glory. And I considered doing a fundraiser to change it, but I don't know how much my audience would want to put in money to give a pig a new tattoo.
Yeah,
put a 1 in the chat if you would revolt. Put a 1 in the chat if I would need to get my head checked. I was trying. You guys know I was trying to.
That's true. Okay, so the extent of the feedback would be on the YouTube channel if I just kind of trolled the comments there.
Yeah. And remember,
okay.
People only know what I presented. It was a much longer conversation where, Adam portrayed himself in a much more positive light. And I just thought to myself, this just too good to be true. I haven't met a pig like this in my whole life. That's good. They're just all, the Mullen Commission, the Wickersham, the Knapp, they all teach us that cops believe in a little bit of violence. They believe in violence. They're for it. They're pro-violence. So to hear someone say something different was different,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your candor about that.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums up what I was trying to understand from you. I think you can appreciate why I need to ask these investigative questions.
If they thought I had anything to do with Adam Hanna, they would have subpoenaed my phone records. They would have subpoenaed my email. They would have got it, and they would have. So when the government calls you, if they work for a district attorney's office or a police department, they're investigating you. So you should stay very tight-lipped, very tight-lipped. I'm a freedom fighter. I've been to jail a couple times last 2 years. This is what I do. If the government calls you, you should not open up like a book like I did. I knew when he tells me he's a detective for the district attorney's office, no, I'm under investigation. So now what's he investigating? Oh, he tells me he's involved, that he thinks I'm involved with Adam Hanna. Now this is laughable and provable that I'm not involved with some jackboot thug pig trying to keep his pig badge.
Do you have a on-topic related question?
How do we get a grand jury convened for the murder of Richard? I said Jeff Ward.
That's a big question.
I mean, come on, dude.
I can't take that one on.
Dude, you work for the DA's office. Do not be come on, man. Don't further erode my trust in anybody who calls themselves a cop. You saw the video. He's murdered the dude, man. Charles Warder murdered Richard Ward. And Jeff Chostner can just say, "Oh, it's justified," when we can see a video, bro. We can see a video.
If I would have a lot more, my answer would take on a lot more meaning if that was in our judicial district. I don't have any jurisdiction there, so
isn't it right down the street? It's a block away, right?
No, so I'm not in. That's Grand Junction. It's on the other side of the state.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so the reason I have jurisdiction over this matter is a little bit more complicated.
Well, dude, I'm not asking you to throw your.
Well, it probably has to do with that I'm part of the investigation and I'm not from that county. So
professionalism into it. I'm saying, you know, on a random conversation, I asked you this question: how do I get a grand jury convened for Charles McWhorter? How do we convene a grand jury to look at that video?
There's a mechanism to convene a grand jury, but
it's MCWHOTER, McWhorter. MC. Look it up. McWhorter killed in Colorado or
be up to the DA's office in that jurisdiction.
Yeah, and Jeff Chostner said he's not going to convene a grand jury. What do we do? Go after him to impeach him?
I mean, DAs are elected officials, so
you've seen the video, haven't you?
I'm not positive what you're talking about. I mean, I may have seen it, but I'm not putting names or anything. Chille, you've been super helpful. Thank you for cooperative, and I appreciate you taking my call.
All right, brother.
Do you need my name? Do you need my email? Do you need some way to follow up with me?
We're gonna cut there. I'm not gonna blow him up. I'm not gonna blow him up. So, wow, so Adam Hanna. If you guys have not seen the full Adam Hanna video, let's pop over to that real quick. I'll just throw it up and let's just take a look at some of the comments that this guy completely and utterly did a snow job. He fooled everybody. He fooled everybody watching. He fooled me in person because, you know, well, it's easy to fool me. I want to believe that you're good. So let's just take a look at some of the comments that this guy generated. You know, that thin blue line should be outlawed for all law enforcement citizens. It's not okay. The cop impresses the hell out of me. That's the kind of cop I grew up respecting. He was he had a felony against him for what he did to somebody. I really like this cop. This seems like one of the good cops. When you get one cop that speaks out against tyranny, bro, that literally brought a tear to my eye. Gave me goosebumps. What a great guy. What an amazing enforcer. We need more guys like Adam Hanna. Haters will hate and talk about this video. One of the best videos on YouTube. Always God bless. Kudos. Good conversation. I mean, nice cop. I mean, look at what he did. I will drop this video down in the comment section for you guys. So you guys can follow it. You can watch it if you want to watch it, but he lied. So what I'll do now is I'll put that video together and I'll just put the audio and I'll just put in the beginning, wait for the audio at the end, and it'll be like a 45-minute video, but people should absolutely see it and hear it, that this guy. So every time you guys see someone and you go, oh, that's a good cop, I want to remind you of Adam Hanna. Every time you guys see people say to me, why are you so mean? How do you know if he's a good cop or a bad cop? I don't. I know he joined an evil Death Star. I know that he enforces policies and procedures that are cruel and inhumane, that hurt people, that ruin people's lives, and he's a part of that. So I have no idea. I'm going to go with, though, that he is evil. I'm going to start with that, and then let's work backwards from there. Because I'm not going to walk in to some guy dressed up like G.I. Joe Loser and not believe that he's evil. I think he is. I don't know if he is. It's the old, what's the old adage? What is it? It's, I'm going to give you a jar of M&Ms, 100 M&Ms, and only 10 are poisonous. Here. How many of those M&Ms are you going to eat? How many are you going to have? There's only 10 that are going to kill you. Enjoy. Put a 1 in the chat right now if you would not have a single M&M. I treat all the cops like they're that poisonous M&M because they joined poison M&Ms. That's what they joined. They joined a Death Star. They joined where taking people to the office is taking them to a dungeon. They joined that. They signed up to do that. I'm sorry if I'm a great big meanie. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Everybody do me a favor. Put down in the comment section, Jackboot Thug Pig, JBTP. Just pop it in there. JBTP, Jackboot Thug Pig. You can hashtag that ish if you want to. And then hit the like button. Hit the like button. 2 things in a row here. There's a follow-up. They interview the mother of that 10-year-old little boy who got put in the back of the cop car. So, that's the death video. We're going to watch that one next. But this is the video from the...
As 10 minutes.
What the fuck?
Why would you arrest a 10-year-old kid?
Last Thursday, LaTanya Eason stopped by a Senatobia attorney's office for legal advice. She says within as little as 10 minutes, a police officer interrupted her meeting. He caught her 10-year-old son, Quantavious Eason, urinating behind her car.
I was like, son, why did you do that? He said, Mom, my sister said they ain't got a bathroom in there. I was like, well, you knew better. You should have came and asked me if they had a restroom. So he was like, since you had it like a mom, then he could just get back in the car.
But Eason says things quickly took a turn for the worse when several more police cruisers pulled up.
Another officer came over there and was like, your son got to get out of the car. He got to be arrested because he can't do that.
I started like crying a little bit, and they had like took me down there, and they got me out the truck, and I wouldn't knowing what was happening.
Quantavious says they held him in a jail cell, and his mom says they charged him.
Whoa, how much does that look like a Nazi symbol? Look at that. Look at that. Look at the top. How much does that look? Oh my God. Look it up. Does that not look like the SS seal? That looks like a Nazi symbol. Whoa. Whoa. Crazy.
They charged him with child in need of services, then released him to her.
That could really traumatize my baby. My baby could get to the point where he don't want to have a counting with police, period.
I get scared, start shaking and thinking I'm going to jail.
So here's the thing. The next thing I want to just warn you guys, I'm gonna roll down this. The next thing you're gonna see, it doesn't show it. You just see that there's a gun fired, but this cop kills this guy within 10 seconds of interacting with him. He shoots him, he dies. Then the cops make up a story. Then they change their story. And now the family of the person who's murdered, they chase down the Ring camera. So like I always tell you guys, if you remember Lainey Hudson in Kentucky, when that 13-year-old girl was killed by the cop who was speeding through at whatever speed they say he was at, I told that family, you have to do the investigation. So this family actually did the investigation, and they chased down this Ring camera. It's right here. This is terrifying, by the way. You don't see anything. There's no gore. There's no... Okay. Count how long it is. Cop's going to pull up. See the cop pulling up there on the left-hand side, right over here? And count how long it is. I counted 10 seconds. What'd you guys count? I counted 10 seconds. And I mean, he gets shot. We don't see anything. We see him get shot through the window several times. But if you look at the car, you can't see him raise his hand up. There's no gun being over here. You see right how the hands go up.
Get your hand up there right now!
Breaking news into the CBS News Philadelphia newsroom right now. Attorneys have just released surveillance video showing the deadly Kensington police shooting of 27-year-old Eddie Irizarry. We do want to warn you that the video and the audio here may be very disturbing. Now, attorneys for the Irizarry family said they obtained the video from a Ring camera right outside of where the events unfolded. We are.
You hear that? They got it from a Ring camera. They got it from a Ring camera. So that means they did the investigation. They're the ones who got it. You understand that? I just want to be, sorry, my light went out here. I just want to be clear though, so you really understand what happened. They found the footage.
Are freezing the video just as the shots are fired.
Show me your hands. Watch, see the right-hand side of the screen right over here where the volume gets in the way when I put it right there. You guys can see that happen. Now watch his hands go up. Watch. So now you're telling me there's a cop right there with his gun pointed at him. And there's a cop here. He has his gun pointed at him as well. He's going to go from pulling his hands down to thinking he's going to be Billy the Kid fast to draw his gun. That's what he thinks he's going to do. Is that true? You think that? Put a 1 in the chat if that's a lie. That fast. He walked up and shot him that fast.
Well, as you just saw there, Irizarry pulled into a parking spot. A police car follows a few seconds later. The officer gets out with his gun drawn and opens fire through the driver's side window. Police initially claimed Irizarry lunged at officers with a knife, but retracted that the next day. And we did reach out to Philadelphia police for comment, but have not heard back just yet. And we also reached out to the lawyer representing the officer who fired the shots. He said, quote, the officer still has the support of the Fraternal Order of Police.
What? So just what? I'm sorry. Run that. I'm sorry. Play this again for me.
Representing the officer who fired the shots, he said, quote, the officer still has the support of the Fraternal Order of Police. Of course, stay with CBS News Philadelphia.
Okay, so like that's state-run media for you right there. She has no perspective. She has no slant. She has no opinion. And then she just tells you that he still has the support of the Fraternal Order of Police, meaning that there's a bureau or a body of people who are looking over this, and the cop still has their support. I mean, just for a second, the dude who got shot 6 times, 7 times, just for a second. I mean, this is why I tell you guys, I'm having a lighting issue. I'm sorry. This is why I tell you guys that I got it fixed. I think you absolutely have got to use the trifold. Do not talk to cops. His hands, they disappeared for a second. If they disappeared for a second, that's it. Your hands, if they come down from your visor when you're pulled over by these jackboot thug pigs, you could get killed. You could get killed, and you could get killed that fast. From your hands are here the whole time when you get pulled over. You're seeing it. We have to survive. You're not an activist. That's not what you are. I'm so frustrated with the damn light, but your job is to survive. Your job is to survive. Your job is not
fire, right?
Yes.
We're going to watch this next. So let's get into this right here. So this is, you guys remember that Kansas, when they raided that newspaper in Kansas? When they raided the newspaper in Kansas, they took that 98-year-old woman's, believe it or not, her router. And because they took her router and she couldn't do the lights on and off by clapping and get internet, she died. She dies after this. So check this out.
Calling Eric Meyer.
Don't you touch any of that stuff.
Ma'am, you're wasting your
This is my house.
I know. You're wasting your breath. Ma'am,
Get out of here. You asshole.
we'll be out of here pretty quick.
Get them out of here. They're here. You under... Your mother loved you. You love your mother. You're an asshole. Police chief. You're the chief. Oh, God. Get out of my house. You're pet patrol. Get out. Stand outside. You can stand outside that door and still see him. I don't want you in my house. I don't want you. You do not take them. What?
Do you blame her for not wanting them in her house? Remember, they're searching for records that they could have the private information of a restaurant owner in town. That's why they're raiding a newspaper and raiding a newspaper owner's home.
What?
Is there another one downstairs, another computer?
Thank you.
We never went down there and he stayed up here the whole time.
Well, that was yeah. What's he doing over there going through the papers? How many?
They're going through her son's personal financial records, and it's really driving her crazy.
Computers do you have in the house, man?
I'm not going to tell you. Get out of my way.
It's all right.
I want to see what they're doing.
Well, they're working.
I don't care what they're
So you
doing.
can go on through if you want.
What are you?
So, I mean, here's a perfect example. What's to stop them from planting something if you can't film what they're doing and there's no third party to film them? And then here's another example. Do you have a camera in your house? Do you have one? Is one set up in your living room so we can see what happens?
Doing? Those are personal papers.
Man, those aren't papers, they're electronic devices.
Wow. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, you're seeing it. You're seeing it firsthand right here. It's just, you're watching it. Absolute and total despotism. I mean, they're walking in her house, stealing her stuff, doing everything bad that you could do to another human being. Unbelievable. And all she wants is some decency.
Which is what the judge said that we're supposed to take.
This is what the judge said we're supposed to take. What they needed was a document that was sitting by the computer. It was sitting by the computer at the office.
Okay, you people.
Wow. Look at that. Absolutely crazy. Let me see if this bad chicken's going to work for me. There it is. It might work for just a second, so I only have a minute or two here. But this is, you know, they raided her house because they had a restaurateur's information that they didn't want her to, that they said was in breach of their right to have, and that they had disseminated it, that they had
Bleckley County Sheriff.
They had shared it. And so they were accused of sharing it in a town hall meeting, and they didn't share it though. And so then, because they were accused of sharing it, the sheriff got a search warrant from a judge. Okay, we got to go back on the next thing because this light's having all kinds of problems. But just absolutely insane. Insanity squared.
Chris Cootie resigned effective immediately along with his plea. Now, Judge Hatchett says she spent her career.
This is about a TV judge who speaks out after Sheriff Gropter pled guilty to that in Atlanta.
Advocating for victims, but never thought she'd become one herself.
I am a very strong woman. I pride myself on being strong.
Judge Glenda Hatchett holding back tears Monday afternoon, speaking out for the first time after Sheriff Chris Cootie pled guilty to groping her last year.
I never expected that I would be so deeply affected by this.
It happened during a reception for the Georgia Sheriff's Association at the Renaissance Atlanta Waverly Hotel in Cobb County in January 2022, where the judge and television personality was an invited guest. That's where Hatchett says Cootie groped her breast.
I was welcome. People were just happy to see me. People wanted to take pictures. I felt very comfortable. And so for this to happen was just like, my goodness.
She filed charges the next day.
I had to file charges. There had to be accountability because the message needs to be clear that you cannot do this. How dare you do this? And if he would do this to me after having been introduced to him as Judge Hatchett, what else is happening?
Hatchett says the support she's received over the last 20 months has helped her make it through, but she wants other victims of sexual assault to know they're not alone.
I am surrounded by so much support because I'm Judge Hatchett. But what about the women and men victims who aren't? And that's why I've dedicated so much of my life, as you know, professionally, advocating and trying to be a voice for people who don't have a platform.
Cootie agreed to 12 months probation, 40 hours of community service, as well as a $500 fine. He also will have to complete a drug and alcohol course.
So, I mean, I think any victim of sexual assault is disgusting and horrible. I do not endorse any. I don't, you know, it's just the problem that I have is that judges in our country are a big part of why our country is so terrible. You know, remember, someone has to sign off on all the search warrants. Someone has to sign off on all the warrants for people's arrest for petty things. There has to be a judge who signs that. So I feel for her because any person who gets sexually assaulted, it's horrible. It turns them inside out, you know, so it's not like she's not worthy of empathy, you know, but I can't help but always wonder, even when these jackboot thug pigs die, and, you know, you guys know my position on this. I don't wish anybody death, but I still wonder to myself, are they going to hell? Is that person going to hell? I hope God forgives them, but I wonder it. Don't you? I mean, when the cops die in our country, there's a great parade, and we've seen it where there's thousands of cops. They let all the cops off for the day and they line the hall. And I think to myself, well, I should have some grace here. You know, I didn't used to. It used to be really, really, really hard edge. This is me less hard edge. This is me in my 40s. This is not me in my 20s. That I was arrested all those times in my 20s for just absolutely nothing. And that's
Bleckley County Sheriff.
You know, what made me the way I am.
Court records say
that's what made me the way I am. You know, being treated poorly by police, being treated poorly by police on multiple occasions, being put in torture cuffs multiple times. That's what made me the way I am. Being abused, hit, punched, cheap-shotted, attacked by police, guns pointed at me, forced into positions I didn't want to be in, physically, putting my body where they demand I put my body. If I don't, they'll shoot me. So, you know, I did that so many times. And so now I am the way that I am because of how many times that happened to me. You know what I mean? So but you know, I don't live on some sort of victim mentality. I'm not a survivor. I'm a thriver. I'm a game changer, and I'm going to change this game. That's everything right there. Everything else is weak ass, soft bullshit. If you want to send someone to Washington to be governor who's a tulip, go ahead. They're going to get destroyed. I'm going to become governor, and I'm going to change this BS system from the top down. Fact. I will change it. You think I'm going to become governor and forgot what I've seen here today, that I've showed you today? You think I'm going to forget? Change has to happen, and it has to happen right now. So remember yesterday I showed you guys a video where the cop hit the person in the car. This is a different story of a different cop who hit somebody in their car. I made it a short. I think DLZ Clips cut that into a short, that guy getting hit by the car. This is absolutely insane that they actually charged this piggy for hitting him with the car. The camera is the only thing that got the cop charged.
He used his squad car, knocking down a man who was running from police in November of 2021. Officer Matthew Knudsen is expected in court in just a couple of hours. At his last court appearance, his attorney asked the court to dismiss the charges, stating that the criminal complaint is not sufficient to establish probable cause. The court denying that motion. Today, Officer Knudsen is scheduled for an arraignment. As we first reported, he's accused of negligent operation of a motor vehicle, which is a misdemeanor. Dash cam video shared with us from the Green Bay Police Department shows the situation unfold. Court records say he used his squad car, knocking down a man who was running from police in November of 2021. The other charge is a felony. He's accused of misconduct, office fraud. The criminal complaint states inaccuracies between Knudsen's report and the released video footage. In that motion from Knudsen's attorney, it stated Knudsen gave a report to his superiors about the incident to the best of his memory, but arguing that officers cannot perfectly recall every millisecond in a fast-moving situation. If convicted, the charges could carry a sentence of more than 4 years in prison. Officer Knudsen has been on paid administrative leave since last October 22nd to be exact, which is standard protocol. This also isn't the first time we've reported on Officer Matthew Knudsen. He was part of a different harassment investigation back in 2018. He was suspended for 30 days after that incident.
Police officer Matthew Knudsen.
So let me just pause it for 1 second, okay? Wouldn't it be great if you could hit somebody in your car, in your company car, on purpose, and then when you get suspended from work, they suspend you with pay? I mean, is this just the most unreal thing you've ever seen or heard? There's a video of you running a man down in your car. Is there? Yeah, there sure is. You're going to have to take some time off. Really? Yeah. Is that going to be paid? Yeah. What kind of clown bozo world are we living in?
Said, quote, in hindsight, I should have stopped the vehicle right there and got out and gone after him. The him is a then 47-year-old Green Bay man who was seen in this dash cam video.
Get on the ground.
Being hit by Officer Knudsen's squad, ending a foot chase on the city's east side. Prior to the man's arrest, body cam and dash cam footage show the man not only running from Knudsen,
get back in the car,
but also another officer.
Stop! Get on the ground!
After Knudsen tried to stop the man for a traffic violation, in his initial report of the incident and included in the criminal complaint, Knudsen said the suspect was, quote, cutting directly in front of me and causing me to make contact with the rear of his right leg on the front left corner of my squad.
Okay.
But in reviewing
right there, here it is. As governor, I can put new policies and procedures in, and I can get in, and why can't I? That if you lie on your report, you're fired. You lose your peace officer certificate. If you lie on the report and the camera shows us something different, then you're fired. Gone. Two things. You say this in a report, the video shows this, you're fired. That's leadership. That's what leadership is. When you put, this is it. Here's where the line's crossed. You lie in your report, we find out about it, you're canned.
In the dash cam video, investigators determined they had, quote, concerns about Knutson's conduct and the veracity of the police report produced by Knutson. Those concerns stem from Knutson's own words or lack thereof. According to the criminal complaint, in his initial use of force report about the incident, Knutson made no mention of hitting the suspect, yet the dash cam video shows the suspect was hit. Knutson gets out of his squad and pushes the man to the ground, placing him under arrest. In his report, Knutson also said the suspect's complaints about a leg injury were due to his age and running away from police, but the video didn't back up that claim. While Green Bay Police Chief Chris Davis said Knutson is innocent until proven guilty, he wants the public to know the actions of one officer don't speak for the entire department.
Oh my
When
God.
incidents like this happen.
Hold on a second. Before we hear his BS spiel, before we listen to your BS, bruh, I mean, we need to get a t-shirt, DLZ Clips, where it just says, before you, it's just one. I mean, what, it's the same thing every time. Before you jump to any conclusions, it's just one. There's just one. It's just an isolated incident. This is an isolated incident. That's what the t-shirt should say. This is an isolated incident. These 67 isolated incidents in, where is that? East Cleveland, or is it Antioch, or is it, where's this Massachusetts? Where's the 67? Is that Connecticut? Where all the troopers were in on stealing, on giving fake tickets. So this is an isolated incident. This is an isolated incident, everybody. This guy's going to come on here and tell us that how they don't tolerate corruption in their organization, and they weeded out right away. And they got this one, and they caught him. This is an isolated incident. This is an isolated incident, everybody. I just want you to, I'm going to back up a little bit so we can build up to him saying this is an isolated incident. Is just this one.
Said the suspect's complaints about a leg injury were due to his age and running away from police, but the video didn't back up that claim.
The injuries to his legs are from him running away.
Green Bay Police Chief Chris Davis said,
and he's old and he ran.
Knutson is innocent until proven guilty. He wants the public to know the actions of one officer don't speak for the entire department.
When incidents like this happen, that's not, however this ends up, in this case, that's not a reflection on that day in and day out really good work that our members do.
Through the department, Officer Knutson and his family have asked for privacy. The police department's union attorney declined our request for comment. Randy Schultz, who spent 35 years in law enforcement and decades as a law enforcement training officer, is concerned to hear of these charges. He believes they set a bad precedent in a situation where an officer may have used untrained technique that is possibly justified by circumstance.
As a citizen and
a minute. Hold on a minute. I forgot. Oh, goodness. We're watching state-run media. This is state-run media. And what Fox does is Fox copyrights all their videos. Fox News does. So that if you put it on YouTube, they try to take your revenue. So then you have to fight them and say that, no, it's not, it's fair use. Ha, ha, ha. Boy, have I learned about fair use. Have I not? Have I not learned about fair use? This is fair use, Fox. We're breaking it up and talking about how you're now going to cop suck. You showed the guy get hit by the car. Now you're going to bring on a 35-year cop or an expert, and he's going to spout how in some situations running someone over with the car, that's the best idea. Like, what kind of bozo clown world are we living in? And you wonder why you can't get cops to sign up? You really wonder that? You're Let's listen to this bozo. Let's listen to this bozo say.
A prior law enforcement officer saying, are we going to make this to the point where we can't get anybody to do this job? Because in an instant of their decision, the next thing they know, they're up against felony charges. That concerns me.
Bro,
Court records say
bro, no. That doesn't go unchecked. No, bro. No. I'm even going to roll your face back on here so that you know.
he used his squad car, knocking down a man.
Make this to the point where.
No, bro. Everybody take a look at the face of the fraud. Take a look at the face of a fraud. Like, look at his face. Get a good look at it. He's a fraud. He believes that people don't want to sign up because they could be charged with felonies. He doesn't say that what that jackboot thug pig did was so inappropriate that he should have been charged with a felony. You don't run a man down. He wasn't running around shooting people. He didn't have if he had a kid under his arm, maybe even less of a reason. He wasn't running toward a I don't want to show how twisted I am on the spot, but he wasn't running toward a merry-go-round with children on it that was covered in gasoline and he had a lighter. He was not doing that. All right. He wasn't doing that. So this guy right here is going to come on camera, and instead of admonishing the pig who ran someone over with a vehicle, he's going to go on there and say that we can't get people to sign up because you can charge people with felonies who are felons, who do felonious acts. How appropriate is it for you to hit somebody with your car? Put a 1 in the chat if it's inappropriate to hit someone with their car. Did you guys, hold on. You guys saw the other day that there was a chick in the street shooting her gun and the cop hit her with a car. You did not see me show it on this channel and say that he did a bad job. If you are going to be shooting a gun in the street, if the cop doesn't hit you with their car, I will. You're a nutball. You should get hit by a car. This man was running away. He was not shooting people. And the cop who ran the girl over shooting, he was not charged. He was not charged. So what is this jackboot thug pig trying to sell you guys? Well, look at the network. It's Fox. Look at the network that's presenting it. It's Fox News. You cannot say the Communist News Network is the Communist News Network and Fraud Network isn't Fraud Network. You have to be honest. They're both horrible. You have to look at them as state-run media. And if you care about freedom, if you care about liberty, if you care that there's standards in peace officers, let me play this.
Our request for comment. Randy Schultz, who spent 35 years in law enforcement, and
Fox validates him. He spent 35 years in law enforcement. Then it shows him laughing, smiling. He's very amicable and gregarious.
Decades as a law enforcement training officer.
Decades as a law enforcement training officer. Very official. Pig trainer at the trough where the trash is.
Concerned to hear of these charges. He believes they set a bad.
He ran a guy down. He
believes they set a bad.
Let me open it big for you guys. I'm sorry. I just see the screen on my phone over here. Let me open it big. He just runs this human being down from behind. So just
training officer is concerned.
Okay. Let me see if I can escape and zoom in. Okay. So do you see him right there?
Concerned to hear.
He's running away. He's not pointing a gun.
Of these charges.
Now, see that? He's trucking. He's just trucking away.
Now
he's up on the sidewalk. He's run past. Looks like he's slowing down a little bit.
He believes they said.
And then he hits him with the car. That's all I'm saying.
A bad precedent in a situation where an officer may have used untrained technique that is. Precedent in a situation where an officer may have used.
Then the guys on the ground on the left over here, He goes running up and shoves him on the ground again.
Untrained technique.
So, I mean, there should be just no standard of care. There should be the cops should not have any responsibility for your safety at all whatsoever. We should be barbarians. We should be barbarians. We should just kill criminals. We should just kill them. And if you break the law more than twice, you should get the death penalty. That's just you should just die. You shouldn't be on earth anymore if you commit a crime. If you run away from police because you don't want to go to the horrible dungeon, well, you should be run over. And the other cop is going to come on here. Okay, so I'm sorry, I stopped it. So you guys just saw that, right? You saw him hit him, and then you saw him, and you saw on the left here where he goes out on foot.
An officer may have used.
So there he runs full speed at him. On the left here, you see this? This is a close-up. The guy just got hit by a car. So he gets up on his feet, catches his breath, I imagine.
Patient where an officer.
And now he's sprinting.
Sir may have
used
untrained technique that is possibly justified by circumstance.
As a citizen and a prior law enforcement officer saying, are we going to make this to the point where we can't get anybody to do this job? Because are we going to make this?
You missed something here. Brown County Board member. He's part of the board. Where's Brown County Board? Where's that at? Where is he? What city state is he in? Brown County Board member. He's on the board that decides who's right and who's wrong, and if someone gets a settlement or payout or not. You got a former enforcer on that board who was an enforcer for 35 years who now justifies someone getting hit by a car. Where's Fox 11? Someone find out where this is. Let me know. Let's
this to the point where we can't get anybody to do this job, because in an instant of their decision, the next thing they know, they're up against felony charges. That concerns me.
Court record.
Wow.
Yeah, police officer.
Wow. That is some heavy, like that somebody who's in a position of authority would say, I was a cop for 35 years, and if we charge this one, well, then we're not going to be able to get anybody to do this job anymore. The reason you can't get anybody to do the job is because it's a disgusting job where you take people to a dungeon. Literally, you take people to a dungeon. You cuff them up in torture cuffs. Then you put them in the most inhumane position ever. And then you strap them into this place. Could be too hot, could be too cold in the car. They're thirsty because they're exasperated. Even if they didn't have any sort of physical interaction, just the process of being arrested makes your mouth go dry. And they don't get any water. So their lips begin to chap and they get crust and stuff on their lips, but they can't wipe them because their wrists are in torture cuffs. And then you take them down to the dungeon, and depending on which dungeon it is, when you get processed into that dungeon, you will have to allow someone else to have dominion over your body, over your fingers as you run them across. You may be strip searched, where you have to turn around, squat, and cough, where people will look up your naked backside. They will put their fingers in every crevice of your body, regardless. So that's why you can't get people to sign up to be a cop. That's why. Not because you're not allowing cops. Well, somebody had the good sense to realize that you can't allow cops to hit people with their cars. That's just a step too far. But the Brown County Board member is going to go on there and say, if we keep charging people, no one's going to want to be a copper, instead of looking at the policies and procedures of what the police are doing to people and why there's so many channels popping up called Audit Zone and Cop Critic and Audit Coppers and Cop Audits and Blue Line Audit and Blues and Caught It and News Now whereverville. That's what's going on. That's why you can't get any coppers. It has nothing to do with what
is facing charges for allegedly driving under the influence and causing a crash. This happened last night on Route 50 near.
This is an isolated incident. This is very few cops. Justin Fajan placed on leave, paid leave, I'm sure. He was in his personal vehicle drunk, and 7 people are sent to the hospital.
South Manchester Street in 7 Quarters. According to Fairfax County Police, the officer was not on duty and was driving his personal vehicle at the time of the crash. 7 people had to be taken to the hospital, but they are all expected to be okay. That officer, Justin Fajan, is now on administrative leave while the department does an internal investigation. He has been with Fairfax County Police since last year. A police officer is facing.
So if there was 7, if you sent 7 people to I've seen this one. If you sent 7 people to the hospital for DUI, you'd be put on leave or you'd be fired. What do you think? What do you think?
Sit down. A tale as old as time. Police officers getting brainwashed by the misinformation their departments peddle in.
Look at the lack of care that cops do to people. Like, I guarantee you this, unless that's a copper, it's not going to go well. It's a copper. It's a copper.
Orange. 47. She's ODing.
The cops overdosed on heroin or meth. I don't know which one. Narcan. I need the Narcan for the cop in full uniform.
While it's obvious that Officer Courtney Bannock is undergoing a medical emergency, it's not a drug overdose like her or the other officers think it is, but rather the result of proven misinformation that has been spread by police departments, the DEA, and Republican politicians.
A counselor found, this is in junior high, a counselor finds it. As the police officer going there, they have to call a paramedic because the counselor didn't take a pill, but he started to OD because what absorbing.
And now the people of China and Mexico are dressing fentanyl up to look like candy. So I want you to be very vigilant when you're taking your kids on Halloween, because that was a new war in town.
What? Why would they waste fentanyl on killing kids? I've never heard of that before. What? What is that nonsense? I mean, just stop. You lying. You're absolutely just making things up. That's garbage.
And that war is China.
Just last month, 2,000 pounds of fentanyl came across our border. That could kill 500 million people. We're coming into Halloween. Every mom in the country right now is worried, what if this gets into my kid's Halloween basket?
You're talking about the rainbow
fentanyl.
Get that.
What? 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 Hold on a minute. I mean, I thought that drug dealers were in the business of dealing drugs to make money. I thought drug dealers were trying to make money. Why would they be divvying out their money to the kids in their Halloween buckets? So let's take fentanyl, for example, which nobody endorses. Nobody endorses fentanyl. Nobody endorses doing fentanyl. Nobody does. Nobody. Why would you? It's ridiculous. So it doesn't matter how harsh a penalty you make for it, though. That won't matter. It won't deter anybody. Nobody will be deterred because there's a bigger penalty. That won't change their behavior at all. It just won't. That's not going to change their behavior. They will not change their behavior because of you creating a bigger penalty for fentanyl. That won't work. I wish it would. I would endorse it. I would back it up. I would campaign with you. I would walk the streets with you saying, yes, make this the death penalty for having this. It won't change anything. You'll just kill a bunch of people and the fentanyl problem will continue. So I don't understand why they're just sitting here just lying.
Get that candy home and wisely go through it. I can remember my mother doing it when I was a child.
And your mother was paranoid and ridiculous like you are.
There was there were other fears of razors and
Razor
apples and
blades
stuff
and-
like that. So we
Now,
okay, so just real quick, if you think about a razor blade and an apple, just real fast, okay? What a horrible idea, right? If you bit into a razor blade. Now, real quick, run through your memory. In the history of time, have you ever heard of anybody getting a razor blade and an apple? You've never heard of that. This is not a thing. It's made up. It's garbage. Have you ever heard? I mean, someone put a 1 in the chat if you've never heard of it. Put a 2 in the chat if you have. I mean, put 1,000 in the chat if you had. Put 10 million in the chat if you've heard of, if you know someone who ever bit into an apple and there was a razor blade in there. That sounds heinous. It's not true. It's just made up garbage. They put razor blades in apples. What? Who does? Never heard of that. I heard about it as a kid, though. I heard that our parents needed to check our candy to make sure it wasn't poisoned. I get it. Is there some sicko out there that could poison kids? Yeah, there is. Sad. You going to be able to check that Snickers bar if he went to the lengths to try to kill your kid? How you gonna check that Snickers? I'm just saying. I imagine if he's gonna put poison in candy, he's pretty good at it. You know, he disguised it so that you wouldn't see it. I'm just saying. If you're trying to achieve a goal, what I don't want is dad to find it and spoil my goal. I want to see the front page of the paper, the heinous crime I've done. If that's the sick, twisted, you know what I'm saying? So, oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We're not saying that there isn't a problem with fentanyl in the country, but misrepresenting how it affects your body does nothing to solve the actual problem, like tackling homelessness, closing the wealth gap, combating corporate greed, increasing protection for workers, and countless other policy solutions would do. And as this very recent incident will show you, misinformation about fentanyl exposure is still incredibly powerful in police forces across the country.
I just got really lightheaded. You did? Yeah. Gotta go. Call EMS. What? Take it of it. It's not gonna hurt you if it's not it. Talk to me. What do you feel? I feel really dizzy. I just feel like being really fast.
After immediately being given Narcan instead of water or anything else to help with lightheadedness or dizziness, the officer relays a symptom that doesn't quite match with someone experiencing a fentanyl overdose, as laid out here by UC Davis Healthcare Center, but rather match something resembling an anxiety or panic attack. A point even echoed by former police chief turned Brown University professor Dr. Brandon Del Pozo, who claims that the fear officers feel of being exposed to fentanyl while on the job is a major driver of misinformation continuing to spread. And speaking of misinformation, a Flagler County sheriff doubled down on blaming the drugs, which did test presumptive positive for fentanyl later, for the officer's condition, and thanked the other officers for administering the Narcan and saving his life. According to an American Society of Evidence-Based Policing study on how officers feel about the dangers of fentanyl exposure, small tweaks to training and a more comprehensive explanation of the dangers of fentanyl can play a massive role in mitigating fear and preventing officer anxiety when handling the drug, as this is just another example of how easily a major problem in our police forces and society as a whole can be solved with proper education.
We just live in this world where cops are scared. Cops are scared. So you gotta hear me on this. You've got to keep your hands above the steering wheel. I'm going to show you a story right now, another video of cops killing people. And, like, it's so important that you have your information in your trifold, in your visor. It's so important that you're filming and you see yourself on camera, and you see the copper, and that you can see your other hand on camera. I didn't just think about this yesterday. I've been working on this for a long time. Hands up. This one goes on the seat. This one goes on the windowsill. Your trifold's up here with your license, registration, proof of insurance. You're filming. So now we can see that your hand did not drop down. You didn't need to get anything out of there because all your stuff is up here. You never needed to reach down. You didn't need to do that. You have everything up here. And, you know, you can see the next video I'm about to show you, they kill her too. So you understand? Like, I mean, there's a reason why I give it away for free if you don't have $9. There's a reason why, because you'll care about your phone enough to make sure you have your phone. So if you care about your life enough, you'll get the trifold up here with your license, registration, proof of insurance in it. And your hands will go up here. I'm going to show you another video where they kill her. So this is what I'm trying to say. And there's no point in asking the cop why he pulled you over. It says right on your trifold, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Here's everything I got to give you by law. What do you need to talk about? Whether he thinks you were following too close, or whether he thinks you have to have a tail light when you only have to have a reflector. No matter what he thinks or what he says, it doesn't matter. You're set up. You got your trifold here. You slide it down, license, registration, proof of insurance in it. Give it to him. He says, you know why I pulled you over? You show the trifold. It says, I plead the Fifth. You say, I plead the Fifth Amendment. Why do you have to answer his question of why he pulled you over? Why does it matter to you? Why do you care? Who gives a shit? I need to survive this stop. I need to get through this stop. No matter what he's going to do, I need to get to where I'm going right now. There's people in the world who love me and care about me, and I love me and I care about me. I want to live through this. The touchdown position, you absolutely have got to learn it. 100%. You've got to learn this touchdown position. This is where your hands go. That's why I give you a nice big fat broccoli wad rubber band in the indestructible trifold, so you'll stick it on your visor. Why do you think I do that? Why do you think I put a rubber band in the envelope for you? Why do you think? It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's real. Your hands have got to go up immediately when you got a jackboot thug pig behind you. Just me holding my hands up this long, explaining to you guys how to do it, my arms are tired. I don't care. This guy will shoot you. I'm going through a little discomfort right now, filming myself with my hand over here so that he can see that my hand never drops. My hand never goes below, the deck. There's no saying I was reaching. There's no saying he went for a gun, and it's on camera later. So hopefully if they don't shoot my phone, my loved ones will see on the video that I didn't reach for anything, that my hand was here, that I followed an exact protocol because I don't trust the cops, that I follow an exact, I can feel it building. Calm down. That I follow an exact protocol because you could die. I follow exactly how to do this. I do it exactly like this. This is how I do it. This is the way I do it exactly. Mom, you have nothing to worry about. I got my Fifth Amendment right on paper. I got my phone. I got my license, registration, proof of insurance in the visor. When the cop comes up, I give him everything. I don't care why he pulled me over. Here's my license, registration, proof of insurance. Then I flip the trifold around. It says I plead the Fifth. When he asks me why he pulled me over, I tell him I plead the Fifth. I show the camera. I show the thing. He tells me to get out. I get out. Hands are in the same position. They never leave. I'm going to show you another video where they kill a person. I got to show you guys this. It's just whatever. I can feel it coming when I feel it, just like fudge, just like so fudge. Like, you guys got to hear what I'm saying to you. You've got to get it. You've got to get it. You got to get your stuff in order so you don't die in a traffic stop from a cop. Sad. It's sad that this is our reality.
Newly released body.
Her hands weren't up in a touchdown position.
Camera video shows a deadly shooting in Colorado after a woman allegedly pulled a gun at an officer who fatally shot her.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Adams puts out a shots fired call and yells for Duran to stay still.
225, shots fired, shots fired. Don't move. Shots fired. All units, code 9, channel 1.
I mean, she's dead. He shot her. I mean, I don't think she shot first. Maybe she was going to kill herself. I don't know. She's parked the wrong way, facing. It doesn't seem like sending a cop in is the best thing. It doesn't seem like it is to me. Seems like the cop comes up and she's already whacked out. She's facing the wrong way in traffic. maybe sending a cop in is not the best idea.
Responding unit, Sam 25.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
When backup arrives at the scene, Adams removes the gun from the vehicle where Duran is already unresponsive.
Right, but not a fired gun. She went to grab a gun for sure. He could have laid on his belly and waited for her to get out if she's going to get out with the gun, or waited to see if she was going to shoot herself. Looks like she was suicidal to me. Looks like they just sent the right person, a cop.
I've got the gun secured. No response from her.
Yeah, you shot her in the head, dude. She's sitting up. When you shoot through the glass, you're going to shoot her in the head.
People downrange.
Looks like she's wearing her seatbelt, so she couldn't have ducked.
Appear to be code 4. Let's get her out of the car.
People downrange appear to be code 4, all clear, but he didn't walk down there to see where that bullet went.
You get the gun, I'll get her out of the car. Yeah, I'm trying to do all that, man. Give me a minute. You grab the gun. I got her. Just get that out of here. I don't think so. Hey, I'll get her out.
1025, 191, Sam, Robert, Tom, 191, Sam, Robert, Tom. We're going to need all of eastbound and PD. Stop. Eastbound, we're going to be probably at Pier. Stop.
I got no pulse. All right, I'm securing this, man.
Copy. We have an Corvette en route as well.
No, I'm securing this in my car.
Adams then approaches the Jeep parked nearby, asking if everyone inside is okay.
Now this cop's going to break down crying. Whoa. Fist. The windshield shattered. You can see it.
Ma'am, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sam 35, if we get you to have Lamar for westbound and sure all the southeast.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He continues on explaining what happened just moments before.
She wouldn't talk to me. She had some like charm or something, and she wouldn't talk to me. I said, "Do you need an ambulance? What do you need?" And she reached into the center console, and I saw this gun. She reached for it, pointed it right at me. I was so worried I was going to shoot downrange at you.
He's walking around with the gun in his hand.
Oh my God.
The person inside the vehicle then identifies themselves as Jess, and Adams introduces himself, again apologizing.
What's your name? Jess.
Okay. I've just look. So let me just encompass this real quick. Okay. Just let me put it in a circle. This cop shoots her because she goes for a gun. Okay. Let's just say. I'm supposed to feel they kill people all the time, and I'm supposed to feel bad for him that he killed her. I don't really know how to put that in a square, put that circle inside the square. I don't really know how it works. Get the square in the circle. I don't really know how they don't work. I don't think cops should all of them should carry firearms. I don't think so. I don't think you should have sent someone there with a gun. I don't think you should have sent a cop to her. She's parked the wrong way on a road. She's not stupid. She parked the wrong way on a road because she is crying out for mental help. She's obviously having an episode. So you send a guy with a gun who's looking to see if she's drinking. I just don't know if that's the best person to send in. Didn't seem like it. It's not that I lack empathy for another human being. I understand that he killed that chick and fired his gun down the road and almost killed the other people in the other car. I think the collateral damage of armed police is terrible. I think without a firearm, he would have fallen back, and I don't know if she would have followed through on anything. And then we would have had to have, we have to have the proper things set up, but it's all set up all wrong. It's all set up completely wrong. One guy going in with a gun, it's just done wrong. We have so many ways we could investigate things now and do things differently. With this technology we have, we don't have to do it this way at all. So it's just hard for me to wrap it around my head. Which way is it? Which way is it? Do you wrap it around your head, or does it wrap around? Do you wrap your head around it? Which is it? Which is it? Which is it? Who knows the answer? Who knows the answer? Which one is it? I have not seen the chat all night. I'm really sorry. Thank you everybody for coming. I've just been talking, going down this, navigating the tyrannical America that we live in. I want to show you guys this one more video, and then I gotta go, but I want to show you one more video. I want to show you one more video because I want to show you what I want you to do when the cop pulls you over after you invoke your Fifth Amendment right. When you're filming yourself, you got your trifold, your ID, you've given them everything you have to give them by law, right? From right there, I want you to do exactly like you see here. Watch how they do it. I want to show you guys this. Watch this silent treatment. When you get pulled over by the coppers, this is what I want you to do. I want you to give them the silent treatment.
We had some people here that are concerned what you were doing.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Get away from my car.
No, I don't need to.
Get away from my car.
I don't need to.
Get away from my car.
I don't need to. It's our car.
I know.
Hey guys, Patriot First Audit's back with another set of videos that demonstrate First Amendment auditors properly exercising their rights in public. Check the description for links to today's videos, and please remember to subscribe and help support this channel. Let's get right into today's videos.
He is upset.
So what you working on?
Nothing. Not a single word. Nothing.
Do I need to sign a release or anything for you to use that image of him?
Nothing. Yeah, how you do it?
Like a non-response is a yes or a no.
That's how you do it, just like that. For your trifold camera, up, not a word.
Right.
You even did it. Not a word. Not a single word, guys. Nothing.
Where are you from?
Not a word. I have given you everything by law,
okay.
amendment, and I told them, that's it. You question me and say you're asking me. And I stopped talking. I ordered you out of the car, yeah.
This place already called the cops on me. They're right across the street. Yeah, so I know. I think he's trying to be hidden. See that? 43, everyone. It's freezing. Sir.
right, Patriots. Thanks for coming back. You're well.
What's that? Some Swiss burgers too.
You guys got my point. I don't want to torture you with watching silent. I just want you guys to really truly understand that when you say I invoke my Fifth Amendment right, it means you stop talking. There's nothing else to say. There's not another word. You showed him the trifold. You showed it to the camera. You said, I've invoked my Fifth Amendment right. He has a right to order you out of the car because of Pennsylvania versus Mims. If you want to challenge that, you have to be able to prove on camera that there's no way a reasonable man would believe that you're armed and presently dangerous to him. You would have to, then you could challenge Pennsylvania versus Mims, but you're going to go to jail likely. If he orders you out of the car and you say no, because a prudent man would have to believe that I'm both armed and presently dangerous, then you're challenging his authority and you're probably going to be arrested. Now, if you can show on camera, if you have your trifold in your hand and your license, he has your license, registration, proof of insurance, and I'm just wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and I know that, you know, especially if he recognized who I was, if he said, oh, you're Delete Laws, then he said, get out of the car. Then I would say, if you know I'm Delete Laws, then I'm not getting out of the car, because you know that even if I was armed, I'm not presently dangerous. My entire platform is don't be violent. It's just stupid. You're going to die and we're going to miss you. You're going to die and we're going to miss you. Don't be violent with cops. They'll kill you. Don't do it. They're jackboot thug pigs. They can't wait to kill you. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. Chevy, am I wrong? Special Ed Andrew, jackboot thug pigs. Michael, isn't that what it seems like? It seems like the cops, if you in any way, shape, or form twitch your shoulders, you might get killed. You might get killed. I mean, do you believe that or not? Put a one in the chat if you believe that. If you shimmy your shoulders when the cops are putting their hands all over you, they might pull out their gun and shoot you in a lickety split second. That cop yesterday believed he had 1.8 seconds before he could shoot you in the head. 1.8 seconds, he didn't shoot you. He had it down to, he had the time. 1.8 seconds. 1.8 seconds. He's going to shoot you. All right. I got to get the flock out of here, you guys. I got to get the flock out of here. I had a great time, though. This was a good time, I guess. I mean, we live in a world of death and despair, where every day, which video are we going to see that which cop did to somebody today, and then which captain or lieutenant or chief or major is going to come out and say, I want everybody to realize this is an isolated incident. This is an isolated incident, everybody. This is an isolated incident. This is an isolated incident. This is an isolated incident. Just so you know, this is an isolated incident. If you guys don't have my trifold, go to my website right now, deletelaws.com with a Z, and get a trifold. Get a trifold right now. Get an indestructible trifold right this second. Use the broccoli wad rubber band. Put all your stuff up in the visor. If you want to put your real license, registration, proof of insurance, do it. Be ready. Use the football position, touchdown position, just like I teach you. Never let your hands drop below this. Never. Your elbows are almost locked. Like, this is the only movement you're going to do, other than the other hand out the window, because you don't want to die. I just don't want to die. That's all. You got everything up here. Go to my website right now. Get it. Get the digital one, $9, print it out. Get a broccoli wad magazine, rubber band, broccoli wad rubber band. Put it up there. Put everything up there. Touchdown position. This is how you do it. You don't want to die. I showed you 2 or 3 videos tonight where people died. Their hands went below the steering wheel. Your hands went below. They died. Those people died. If you don't have the $9, I'll give it to you for free. What's up, Playboy? Get your rubber band. Make sure you got your phone running. You know, make sure you do it. Touchdown position. Follow me. This is how you do it. Touchdown. Oh, remember that video a while ago? What did they do? They just did that, and they were so cool. They were so cool. All right, I gotta get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I love all of you. Thank you guys all. I saw memberships come through here. Marcy came through here. Floating Spirits. I saw so many of you guys come through here. Thank you guys so much for coming. Launchpad's in here. What's going on? Lenny, how are you? Good to see you. I just want to say hello to a few. Victor, what's going on? How are you? James, Greg, I'm sure it was here. Bruce, what's going on? Playboy, I know my regulars are here. Mikey's probably here. Todd's here. V Boyer, Chevy, DLZ Clips. Everybody, make sure you subscribe to DLZ Clips, the backup channel. Jeff Higgs. Love you guys. Etherix Bliss. I got to get the flock out of here. I'll see you on the next one. Gloria. Love you guys. If I didn't mention your name, let me make sure I didn't mention someone's name. Jungle. What's going on, Jungle? What's going on? Susan, how are you? TKB. I love all y'all. I wish I could talk to each one of you guys. I wish I could return every one of your phone calls and every one of your texts. I love everybody because we're a team. We're a team. We have to be a team or they'll lock us in the dungeon and nobody will help us. So there it is. Love you guys. See you on the next one. Later, Gators. Okie dokie.